All right, so we're going to look at Student Assessment 1, question 5. So this is question 5. So this is what you're given. You're told that it's in this form, and you're asked to find k when y equals 3 and x equals a third. Now this requires you to remember how to deal with your fractions, or how to deal with dividing fractions. So y is 3 equals k is what we don't know, and x squared, so 1/3 squared. So I'm going to bring this across as a multiplication. So 3 times 1/3 squared equals k, right? Because k is dividing 1/3, so I bring it across, which is 3 times, and then I just square top and bottom, 1/9, which means that 3/9 is k, which means that 1/3 is k. Right, so we know that. This is the next part of the question, but before we do that, I want to actually teach you about this method, which apparently you don't know yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm solving for an algebraic unknown, so a variable, but I have a squared in it, which is not something that you've done yet. So the first thing I'm going to do, just like normal, is subtract the 5. So I have x squared equals 14 minus 5. So then x squared equals 9. Now the opposite of squaring we know is a square root. So your instinct is going to be to do that, and that is not complete. So the problem is we have to take both the positive and the negative version of that, and I'll show you why. So it's both positive and negative 3. The reason we have to do that is because x squared, we don't know whether it used to be positive or negative, because 3 squared is 9 and negative 3 squared is also 9. So the problem is when we're undoing this situation, we can't tell whether this original x was positive or negative because of this squaring issue. So whenever you reverse the process like this, you must take both the positive and negative square root, which means I get 2 different answers. This is how we write it. Another way you can write it is like that, negative 3 and positive 3, but this is usually the accepted way to write it. All right, same thing for here. I'm going to first of all get rid of this, so 2x squared equals 47 plus 3. The next thing I'm going to do is get rid of this 2, which means I'm going to divide. It's 50 divided by 2. Now I'm going to take both the positive and the negative square root of 25, which means x is both positive and negative 5. So that's why over here they asked you to find both values of x, because that's what's going to happen. So if I use this formula up here with this information, I know that y equals k is 1/3 over x squared. So what I'm being asked to do is find x squared when y is 12. So I know that y equals 1/3 over 1/12, which is completely insane. We do not want multiple fractions like that. That is completely ridiculous. What have I done? I've done something incredibly weird. That is not what I meant to do. Ignore me. Okay, so we're going to say 1/12 equals 1/3 x squared. I put it in the place of x, not y. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is move the bottom of my fraction across as a multiplication. Then I'm going to bring this across. That's where my division bit comes into. I skipped a step, which I don't want to do. So 1/3 over 1/12. And this is insane. We do not want to divide fractions. So remember what we do. We flip and multiply. Flip and multiply. So what I'm going to do is say x squared is 1/3 times 12 over 1. Right? Instead of 1/12, I'm going to flip it upside down, which means that x squared is 12 over 3. X squared is 4. And then I take both the positive and negative square root. So x is positive and negative 2. So that's why I get 2 different answers for x. Hopefully this makes sense to you. I know this is a crazy question. That's why it's right at the end. It's really hard. So if you're not sure, you can watch this again, or you can ask me for some extra help if you would like. All right, good luck.